Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight to our Sunday feast. You can now all turn and face the seat, and we'll have tonight's talk, which will go on from 6 until 7 p.m. And tonight's talk, as you see, is given by Nirantara Dasa Adhikari Prabhu. And some of you are here for the first time, so I'll give my usual short introduction on Nirantara Prabhu. He was born in New York in a Roman Catholic family, and he went to Catholic school for 13 years. He even actually enrolled in a Catholic university, St. John's University in New York, before dropping out to join the hippie movement. And he pursued rock and roll, the rock and roll scene, for a few years until 1972, when he became disillusioned by that and came across Krishna consciousness. In 1973, he joined the Krishna consciousness movement, and in 1974, he became a formal student and disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And so since then, he's done a lot of service to Krishna by recording, well, many services, but especially he's known for recording many songs and also audiobooks, and of course many lectures about Krishna. And tonight he'll give a lecture, which he's titling Jeev, Jago, which is, of course, as many of you know, it's Bengali for wake up sleeping souls. So Jeev, Jago. Hare Krishna.
Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitang Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. This is a very powerful mantra, and it is reminding the spiritual aspirant that we are born in this material world in the darkness of ignorance. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Kapil Dev explains to his mother Devahuti what it's like to be in the womb for 10 months. Very scientific explanation. And so, this prayer, mantra, the chanter is saying, I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but my spiritual master, with his torchlight of knowledge, has opened my eyes. So that is what the spiritual master does. He is there to give guidance and instructions how to come out of the darkness, and, well, it's coming up in the next 2 mantras. There are 3 mantras here that for the past few weeks I've been reciting every day as I begin my day. Asato ma sadgama, tamasi ma jyotirgama, mrito ma amrita gama. So this is from the Upanishads. Do not stay in illusion. Go to the eternal reality. Do not stay in the darkness. Go to the light. And do not keep taking material bodies. Instead, regain your immortality. So this prayer, Upanishad prayer, is very, very powerful. Especially this line, Tamasi ma jyotirgama. Come out of this dark material existence. Go to the light. So what is that light? The light is the Vedic knowledge. There is one explanation Prabhupada gives, the meaning of initiation. It is a second birth. Our first birth is from our mother and father. The second birth is also, there's a mother and father. The father, now in some places, Prabhupada says Krishna, and in other places he says the father is the guru, spiritual master. But the father cannot beget a child on his own. You need Mataji. You need the mother, the woman. So in this case, the woman is the Vedic scriptures. So those combined. And what does the spiritual master do? He plays a vital role. He plants a seed of devotion in our heart. That seed of devotion is nicely explained by Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. That at the time of initiation, the spiritual master places what is called Bhakti Lata Bij, the seed of the creeper of devotion. Now, anyone who has worked in a garden knows that in order for the plant to grow, there must be sunshine and there must certainly be water. So, once the seed is planted by the spiritual master, now it is the disciple's obligation to become the gardener and nourish that bij, that seed, so that it will grow into a luxuriant creeper. And what is that watering process? You're doing it now. Hearing and chanting the Vedic scriptures. Next month, you will have your annual Bhagavad Gita Yajna. Dravida, do you do all 700 slokas?
We'll be chanting during the fire sacrifice. Whether we'll get through the whole Bhagavad Gita, I don't know, but we're definitely going to be chanting slokas.
Okay, good. In Los Angeles, they do the entire 700 slokas. And when Los Angeles first started that, Dravida Das was instrumental. I remember. Several devotees took several chapters. I remember. Yes. And since then, they've done it every year. So hearing and chanting, Shravanam Kirtanam, is the watering process. Now, in an ordinary garden, there is a thing of over-watering, and it can sometimes kill the plant. But when it comes to this, there's no such thing as over-watering. Flood it. Do as much hearing and chanting as you can every day. Indeed, there is one nice description in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that Lord Caitanya, by his Sankirtan movement, the whole world was flooded with love of God. And it's explained that in a field, if there's a flood, then nothing can grow. So when you flood your heart with hearing and chanting and love of God, what gets flooded? Something gets flooded. Your material desires. But your spiritual creeper becomes nourished. And according to Lord Chaitanya's description, if the devotee goes on hearing and chanting day in, day out, year in, year out, the creeper will eventually crack the covering of the universe. And if you keep on hearing and chanting, ultimately your creeper will take shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. And one day there will be fruits. And those fruits, when they become ripened, they will fall and crack into your heart, and you will feel the ecstasy of love of Godhead. That's why there's a song. When, oh when will that day be mine? I am looking forward to that. It hasn't happened yet. I get a little inklings here and there. Like recently, many of you know I have this joke I say all the time. I got a text message from Krishna. So, for me this year, Kartik month was very good. And so, after Kartik ended, I started getting more and more updates from Krishna from within. And I was getting enlivened and encouraged. And my whole attitude now has changed. So, that is the goal of our chanting. That we develop the fruits of love of God, and they come down crashing into our hearts, and we taste love of God. All right, one more mantra. Uttishta jagrata prapya varan nibodhat shurasya dara nishita duratyaya dugang patastat kavayo vadanti. Please wake up. Try to understand the boon that you now have in this human form of life. Yes, this is a theme very much consistent with the Srimad Bhagavatam. That human life is rarely achieved. There is one beautiful bhajan. Prabhupada recorded it many times. It's also my favorite bhajan. Durlabha manava jannama satsange. Durlabha. Human life is rarely gotten. How is that? There are 8,400,000 different birth situations. Human, demigod, plant, animal, aquatic. So there's so many opportunities to get a material body. Out of the 8,400,000, only 400,000 are considered human. That percentage is about 17%. And then we learn, out of that 400,000 human, the number of civilized is even smaller. You are civilized. Actually, you're above civilized. Because here you are, a Sunday afternoon, people are in clubs, people are watching the football games, gambling. Some are going, oh no. Some are going, yeah. Because of the betting. But here, you are a different class. First class. Because you have agreed to come and hear the message of Godhead. And the Bhagavatam says, right now, Krishna in your heart is cleansing inauspiciousness from your life. Isn't Krishna wonderful? Just by hearing about him, he's in your heart. He becomes pleased and he blesses you. So now, in this theme of Jeev Jago, I will sing. This is a song by Bhaktivinode Thakur, and I will sing and explain. And at the end, I will request my senior godbrother, who I consider one of my authorities, Dravida Das, to add some final comments or corrections, if there be. Are you ready to proceed? Yes. Everybody say, Jeev Jago. Very good. We shall proceed. Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago, Goda Chanda, Bole Bolo, Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago, Goda Chanda, Bole, Kokta Nidra, Jao Maya, Pishachira, Kole, Kokta Nidra, Jao Maya, Pishachira, Kole. So Bhaktivinode Thakur, one of our acharyas, he is considered the pioneer to bring Krishna consciousness out of India to the West. So he's composed this song, and he's describing Lord, everybody say, Gauranga. Gauranga. Lord Gauranga is on our altar. And when Lord Gauranga was living in Navadvip, at a certain point, he became a madman. He became mad with love of God. That happened after his initiation. So he would send out his gang of fellow devotees, his posse, and early in the morning they would roam through the streets of Nadia with their mridangas or kols, with kartals, and they would go through the alleys and the streets. At the time people were waking up, and they would say, Jeev Jago, wake up. But this kind of waking up is not like the alarm clock. No, this is a different kind of waking up. Kota Nidra Jao Maya, Pishachira Kole. Lord Caitanya is saying, no, even you're awake, you're still asleep. How? You have sleeping on the lap of a witch. That is your position. Who is that witch? Maya, illusion, the allure of the promise of material sense gratification. We've all had that. We've all had that. We chase the carrot. We chase a dream. But then in the end, I can't get no satisfaction. Help! I need somebody. Yes. So Lord Caitanya is telling us what is our position. It's time to wake up. But this waking up is one of consciousness, of spiritual knowledge. That's the waking up. Bajiba boliya aise samsara vitare buliya rahile tumi abidyara bare. So in this second verse, Lord Caitanya is speaking to us, all of us, speaking to all the conditioned souls. You have forgotten the way of devotional service, and so you are lost in the world of birth and death. So yes, the conditioned soul, most of us, we, as was said, were born in the darkness of ignorance. So we don't understand, or we don't know that we have an eternal relationship with God. We have forgotten it. And from birth, we are involved in so many material activities. But where are those activities to reinforce our dormant love of Godhead? Yes, our philosophy teaches. This is an aspect that is very dear to me. This aspect of love of God is already there in everyone's heart. Yes, even the devil. Everyone potentially has love of God, but it's dormant. So it just needs to be awakened. That's it. So this whole process of Krishna consciousness is simply by sound vibration waking us up. Like the alarm clock. Oh my God. My best friend is here. I must recognize my god brother, Archita Dasa. Please, can you give him a good hearty bow? He is my best friend. Thank you. Wow. Do I have your permission to continue? Jai. That's why he's my best friend. He never tells me anything I don't like. No, sometimes he does. He sometimes gets on my case, yes. But lovingly, like my wife. I've said that story so many times. So, we don't know what is our eternal relationship with Krishna. We have an eternal relationship, a unique individual relationship with Krishna, every one of us, but I don't know, we don't know what it is. But it will be revealed. And how will it be revealed? Again, hearing and chanting. Hearing and chanting. Therefore, I've always said, a serious spiritual practitioner takes the daily chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra as the most important thing I will do all day. Because it is by this sincere chanting. And chanting, so many people say, what do I do with my mind? This and it's simple. Just hear. Just hear, that's all. Chant and hear. That's it. Don't just pay attention to the sound. I like to pretend that I am a musician. So when I'm playing music, I'm concentrating so that it comes out nicely. So the same way with chanting. It's simply a matter of paying attention. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And what I do, because the next question is, oh Prabhu, I start chanting and my mind goes somewhere. So I say, chant louder than your mind. So this is how I chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. That's why I'm not welcome in temples to chant japa. I make because I don't know about you, but my mind is a demon. And I really gotta beat it into submission. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. It's hard work. It's really hard work, but it pays off. Because if you, like for instance, I'll tell you. So the drive from my apartment to here today took about an hour and 20 minutes. And I was determined that I'm going to chant Hare Krishna all the way non-stop. And it was hard, because after I was thinking, I don't know. I pushed myself, and I made it. And when I got here, felt so good. And now I'm with you. I see Krishna has sent a nice big, I don't get this big audience in LA, right? We don't get this big. Okay, he doesn't want to commit. Anyway, tonight we got a good crowd. I like it. I've said many times, I have no problem public speaking. I know some people, the thought of giving a speech, they're like, oh, me? Just give me a mic, no problem. No, as soon as there's not a microphone, I'm shy of. And there's no engagement, big or small, that I'm afraid to tackle. Yes, I've always had a dream. It never happened, but I used to say, I would like to have a big Sankirtan program in Dodger Stadium. And then I would get on the mic. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki! And get 60,000 people to chant. I love that, but maybe next life. It's not going to happen. All right, let's continue. We're getting to the nectar verses now. Tomare loite ami hoinu avatara ami bina bandhuara ke ache tomara. So now Lord Caitanya says, I have descended just to save you. I remember in the early days when I was still Bhaktanik in Brooklyn Temple, and I would go out with the devotees chanting. Sometimes people would try to say different things to discourage me. And every so often you would meet somebody, are you saved? As if to freak you out. And then I would remember this. Yes, Lord Caitanya says, I have come to save you. So I am saved. Thank you very much. I have descended just to save you. Other than myself, you have no friend in this world. Yes, Bhagavad Gita teaches us that God is in everyone's heart. He's dwelling there. And according to Gita, according to Prahlad Maharaj, God in the heart is your dearmost friend. Your dearmost friend. And He's been with us ever since we left the spiritual kingdom and entered this material dream of material existence. Dream, right? Because the whole thing is Jeev Jago. Wake up from the dream of San Diego. Wake up from the dream of LA. Wherever you go, it's a dream-like existence. So, Krishna is your dearmost friend because every life you have taken, He's been with you. Side by side. I have a good wife. I have great friends. But I don't know what's going to happen in the next life. But I know this much. The same Krishna who has been with me before and who is with me now is going to be there with me going forward. That is Krishna. So therefore, Lord Caitanya, He is Krishna. He's also Super Soul. He's telling you, you have no friend in this world other than me. Now comes my favorite verse. I love this verse. Enechi aushadhi maya nashibaro lagi Hari Nam maha-mantra, lao tu mi magi. Enechi aushadhi maya, nashibaro lagi. Harinama maha-mantra, lao tu mi magi. Lord Caitanya says, I have brought the medicine that will wipe out the disease of illusion from which you are suffering. Ah, what a brilliant aushadhi. This word is there in the Gita. Krishna says, I am the healing herb. So aushadhi means special kind of medicine. Nowadays, science is getting so advanced. They have pills and remedies for so many things. But don't worry, there's a new disease coming down the pike and soon. So, science tries to keep up, but the material energies outside, okay, you conquered COVID-19, wait till I send you COVID-20. Figure it out. So, Lord Caitanya, what is the medicine he has brought? It is this Hare Krishna maha-mantra. Please repeat, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is the medicine. There are 3 seeds to this mantra. Hare, Krishna, and Rama. Those are called the seeds of the maha-mantra. And there are 16 words, 8 feminine, 8 masculine. Because in this philosophy, God is one, manifesting as 2 eternally, as divine male and divine female. And they're here in this temple as Sri Sri Radha Giridhari. There they are for you. And 32 syllables. And those of us who take up this chanting, we got to make sure that we chant all 32. Don't skip on the dosage. When you get a prescription from the doctor, it'll say, take so many times a day, take with food, don't take with, right? There's prescription. So Dr. Prabhupada, following Dr. Lord Caitanya, prescribes 32 syllables. So every Hare, every Krishna, every Ram. Good luck with your medicine. And again, you cannot overdose. There's no, if you overdose on the maha-mantra, you'll become ecstatic in love of Godhead. And that's legal. Yes. That's legal intoxication. Yes. All right, the final verse. Bhakti Vinoda Prabhu Charane Pariya Shri Hari Nama Mantra Loilo Magiya. So now that Lord Caitanya has finished his preaching in this song, the author, Bhaktivinode Thakur, says, yes, I have fallen at the feet of Lord Caitanya, and I have begged for this maha-mantra, and I have received it. So you'll notice in our ISKCON movement, we have initiations, formal initiations, and at the time of the official ceremony, there's a fire sacrifice, and the disciple pays obeisances first to the spiritual master, gets the beads, gets his new name, and then he pay obeisances to Prabhupada and to the deities and to all the assembled devotees. It's a beautiful, it's the most wonderful day in a devotee's life, the day of initiation. Lord Caitanya, he told Sanatan Goswami that at the time of initiation, Krishna accepts you as good as himself. Just think about that. He accepts you as good as himself. In this way, hopefully, you have become inspired. My goal here was to inspire you, enthuse you, to take up this process of Krishna consciousness with more determination. That was my goal. Let's chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I left enough time for both Dravida and Archita to give some words. So you have the mic. Dravida should always have a mic. When I come, he should have the mic from the beginning. Take it away, boss.
Okay, I'm going to summarize your class in 2 verses.
Okay.
First of all, I'm an English editor, so you have to think about this. Everyone knows the word everybody, right? Everybody knows the word everybody. But think of it as now 2 words, every body. So there's every body, right? Every single body, and there's everybody. So now with that in mind, here's the verse. Everybody dies. Who can deny it? Every single body dies. Everybody dies, nobody dies. Wake up, and open your eyes. You're not that body, you're a pure spirit soul. Chant the holy name and attain life's goal. It's class in a nutshell. Now,
that is called Krishna rap.
No, it's called Rupa rap.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, we won't get into that. Now, one more. The first verse of the song, let's see if the devotees can recognize which song this is based on. O wretched, foolish mind, just give up all deceit and worship Krishna's fearless lotus feet. Don't waste this human life, stay close to devotees and cross this worldly sea of miseries. Anyone recognize the song? Bhajahure manna shinandanandana Abhaya charanara vindave. That's where Prabhupada got his name. Abhaya charanara. Fearless. You become attached to Lord Krishna's lotus feet and you become fearless. Because you're not the body, you're pure spirit. The body is going to fall sooner or later. If you really understand that, then you can go in this world without fear and anxiety. So that's my little contribution.
I would like to ask you one question.
Okay.
I'll make it good. So, you have been a serious practitioner since 1973. Since 73. And you have successfully maintained brahmacharya. So, and besides that, you're known throughout the world what would you say is the secret of your success? Can you share that with us?
Being determined to get up early enough in the morning, which means you have to get to bed early at night, early enough, and get cut off the nonsense, so that you have time to chant Hare Krishna with deep concentration. In other words, to dedicate yourself to developing the bhajan. And of course, it helps to live near or into a temple. That goes without saying. But if you do that in your own life, which I did, I integrated into my life this chanting of Hare Krishna. I was working at the time. Then you'll find that you'll want to be near a temple. You want to be amongst the devotees and take the shelter so you can get more and more into Krishna consciousness. We should always remember that the word Krishna means all attractive. Just like Karshati in Sanskrit means to pull. So Krishna is pulling. So, but we're in our conditioned state, we're not attracted to Krishna. We don't know Krishna. We've forgotten him. But it's the amazing thing, and this is the most inconceivable thing to this day, that the name Krishna is non-different from Krishna himself. Just think of the ramifications of that. You can associate with God just by chanting and hearing carefully. That's a very important point that Nirantara Prabhu made. Hearing both syllables of Krishna, every 32 syllables of that Hare Krishna mantra. And you'll feel it in your life. You'll feel more peaceful, you'll feel more tolerant, and you'll feel that there's meaning to your life. In other words, if you take up this process, and reading Prabhupada's books is very important, because you're associating with the pure devotee. Bhagavad Gita class we have 3 nights a week here, and I make that point practically every time. When we read these books, especially Bhagavad Gita, you're getting Krishna's association. Prabhupada talking like that. You're there on the battlefield. He's there in his words. And you're also getting the mercy of the association of the pure devotee. And that if you chant nicely and you're receptive to the message, then you'll undergo a wonderful transformation in your life. And I can genuinely say that after 51 years of practice, that is still ever fresh. There's always another verse to learn. There's always another experience in Krishna consciousness. It doesn't get old. That's ever fresh. That's one of the things about the spiritual world. Navi Yogana. Hare Krishna.
Archita Das.
Hare Krishna. What a pleasant surprise to be here on a Sunday when you're speaking. I'm here for a conference and I'll be here till Tuesday. So it was a very nice arrangement of Krishna to be here to hear you speak. For those who don't know, the three of us, Nirantara Prabhu and myself, we joined around the same time in New York, 1973, the famous Henry Street Temple. And by Krishna's mercy, we're still going strong. And that temple was 2 5-story brownstone buildings joined together. It had previously been a convent. And so it was not huge, but there were a lot of devotees there. Prabhupada, by his potency, attracted a lot of us to join around the same time. So when we were chanting japa in the morning in the temple room, it got a little crowded and sometimes a little testy. Because some devotees chanted louder than you want them to chant. It irritated you. So fast forward, early 90s, I was here in San Diego for a couple of years. First of all with the BTG, Jayadvaita Swami, Dravida, and Yamaraj. And then I shifted over with Mukunda Maharaj. We were doing ISKCON Communications. We're putting out a video magazine every month. So in associating with Mukunda Maharaj, some of you may know, he met Prabhupada before there was an ISKCON. So he was one of the early devotees in the movement. So he related to me a story about the volume of chanting. One devotee, this was in London, because he had shifted to London for some time. So one devotee had to go to the dentist to get some dental work done. And we all know that's not fun. So while he was waiting in the waiting room, to get his turn of getting his teeth drilled, there was another devotee with him, and this devotee who was going in for the dental operation, he was nervous, so he was chanting very loudly, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. The other devotee said, we're in public, don't you? And then the one who was chanting loud said, well, Prabhupada said we should chant loud. So the whole thing went back to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada heard what happened at the dentist's office, and he said, this is my recommendation. You should chant loud enough that you hear yourself, but not so loud that you disturb others.
Guilty as charged.
Hare Krishna.
That's it?
That's it.
So I'll ask you the same question. What would you say is the secret of your success? And then I'll tell mine.
The same thing that attracted me in the first place, the philosophy. I had never met devotees personally. I had never tasted prasadam. I had never chanted, but I met a devotee on the street, got a book, and the philosophy. Because I was more or less, you could say, a seeker. And that philosophy, and just a pamphlet, Krishna, the Reservoir of Pleasure. How many of you have read that? It's just a little pamphlet, but it's so potent. And I never forget, from the first reading, Prabhupada says, the very first sentence of that pamphlet, Krishna, that name is transcendental. Krishna means the highest pleasure. Every one of us is looking for pleasure, but we don't know where to look. So as a 21-year-old college student, I definitely could relate to that, looking for pleasure everywhere and not finding it. So as soon as I read that, I went to the temple, and within a few weeks, back then, they were very eager to get you to join. If you came more than 2 or 3 times, they said, what are you waiting for? You know the philosophy? Come on, move in. So the philosophy, of course, later on, prasadam and chanting and associating with nice devotees like yourself, cemented the deal, but the philosophy is what attracted me. And to this day, that's what keeps me here.
Very nice. Very nice. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhahi. Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tiravana Chari. So, now, unlike Dravida and Archita, I cannot honestly say I am a success. But if I've made any advancement, it is because somehow or other I have some enthusiasm for the different aspects of Krishna consciousness. Like Archita, my first attraction was the philosophy. My first pamphlet was Transcendental Teachings of Prahlad. And I remember 1972 reading that cover to cover, and I said, I've been looking for this my whole life. And I turned it over to the back cover, and there was this picture of Prabhupada, like this, looking very stern. And I said, yeah, this is my guru. He's not one of these mamby-pamby. Ugh. I like this guy. He looks solid. Then, the next thing is I got another book from the same devotee, Daivi Shakti. And she gave me this big book, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And she got $10 out of me for that book. She had mystic power. I don't give money to nobody. But I just gave her $10. Fast forward a few months later, it's midnight. I am pursuing my rock and roll dream, which turned into a nightmare. So this night in February, I was miserable. So I said, where's that book? So I sat down in my room, midnight, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, 4, 5, 6. By now it's 3 o'clock. I'm a slow reader. It's now 3 o'clock. After finishing chapter 6, when Krishna kills the Putana witch, I closed the book and said, I am going to join Prabhupada's movement. I immediately left my music career, came back to, I was in Columbus, Ohio. I went back to New York. And first thing I did, I used to have hair down to here. And I had a big beard. I was trying to imitate George Harrison, because that's how he looked. But when I got home, I said, this hippie, I was going to say a bad word, this hippie stuff, I'm done. When I was a little kid, every summer, my father would bring out the hair clippers, and we would get a buzz cut. All three brothers line up, took like 2 minutes, and that's how you looked in the summer. So I asked my mother, where are those clippers? I took those clippers, whoosh, everything came off. I didn't know about Shika, so I just shaved everything, the beard. My mother went, I mean, she went like this when I became a hippie, but now, today, she saw, poor mother. I gave her so many shocks. Sorry, Mom. May you be with Krishna. Then, my brother was playing music at Hofstra University. So I went along, and there I met a devotee. And after her classes, I asked her, can you bring me to the temple? She said, okay. So after her classes, she drove me to her house, and she sat me down. She cut up some fruit. I've never seen fruit cut up. I was like, what is this? Because she had lived in the temple. So she said, eat this, I have to get dressed. So I was eating the fruit, and when she came out, she looked like a goddess. Nice sari, nice tilak, was like, whoa. She goes, let's go to the temple. And then, now, I don't recommend this, but she was chanting on her japa beads in one hand and driving the car with the other. And she gave me beads. I sat shotgun. So she taught me how to chant. So she gave me beads. I started to chant. Finally, we get into Brooklyn. It's like 6 o'clock in the evening. There seems to be a lot of energy. And we get to the front door. There's a sign. Quiet. Prabhupada is here. And she saw that, Prabhupada's here. Prabhupada's here. She started going crazy. I was thinking, what's going on? And then they opened the doors of the temple. And there were these two devotees. They looked like Marines, and they were chanting like this, Hare Krishna, Krishna. It was Bhaktivinode and Sunanda. And they were like seriously chanting japa.
Still chants like that.
Huh?
Sunanda still chants like that.
He still, wow. Then they took me into the temple room, and there was black Krishna, Govinda, and Radha. And I said, oh, that's far out. Then I guess it was Daivi Shakti, she saw me. She said, come with me. So we went to the basement. They sat me down on the floor, and they brought out a piece of wax paper. And on the wax paper was green slop. But I was hungry. So she said, eat it. I was hungry, so I slurped it up, and I'm not fabricating. As soon as I ate it, I jumped up. Give me more! Give me more! This stuff is so good! Gotta come back tomorrow. I wanted as... I had never tasted. Now, it was spinach. And my mother would make spinach. I'd spit it. I hate spinach. This spinach was better than any ice cream I have ever had. So then, they did a drama on the second floor. A drama. And the room was packed with devotees. Prabhupada was in a rocking chair watching the drama, and the resident sannyasi, who was like the president, he was massaging Prabhupada's hand. I was thinking, is that guy gay or what? I don't know. Anyway, I didn't understand. And so they did the drama. It was nicely done. And then all of a sudden, everybody emptied out into the hallway. And we were waiting, or they were waiting for Prabhupada. I didn't know what I was like, what is this place? So finally, everybody's in the corridor, in the hallway, and Prabhupada comes out. And all the devotees hit the deck. Namo Vishnu Padaya. And I'm not making this up. I thought I saw from Prabhupada Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis, coming, and it was like, bow down, stupid, bow down. So I hit the deck, and I said to myself, oh, this is great. I have found the modern Jesus. I'm so happy. From then, I decided, well, there's no other place in New York where I can get this food, so I'm going to go to the temple as much as I can. And every day it was different. And it was just especially Sunday feast. Oh, Sunday feast was too good to be true. I remember my first samosa. Dripping in ghee. Oh, so delicious. Different kinds of rice and whatever it was. In those days, I would eat 3 plates. Now I can hardly finish one. But back then, that prasad we lived for the Sunday feast. The weekly prasadam was okay, according to what I've heard from other temples. Brooklyn had good prasad, but Sunday was over the top. So finally, July 15th, I remember that day, July 15th, 1973, I put a note on my parents' refrigerator, I'm joining the temple. Now everybody, my friends, my parents, he'll be back in 2 weeks. Because they knew me. He ain't gonna last. 2 weeks turned into 2 months. 2 months turned into 2 years. Now it's been 50 years. The best decision I ever made was joining that Brooklyn temple. And I still go for prasad. But as time went on, yes, the philosophy, Prabhupada's books, that's what keeps me alive. When I'm in my darkest, when I'm in between a rock and a hard place, when the whole world is against me, I just take out one of Prabhupada's books, like Krishna book, or my second favorite book, Chaitanya Charitamrita. And after a few moments, the beast is calmed down. I'm peaceful. I'm able to live in society. And of course, now, what do I live for? I live for this. Getting to share my love for Krishna with others. This is what I wake up in the morning. I've been praying to Krishna since 1988. In 1988, I was in Vrindavan, and I prayed to Krishna, Krishna, here I am in Vrindavan. I would like to have this same feeling wherever I go. So it took 1980. Finally, in 1995, it happened. And what is that? I am so fortunate that I have unlimited opportunity to hear and chant and preach. I have the best wife because 363 days a year, I have her permission to roam the world and preach. Only 2 days I'm not allowed. Christmas and Thanksgiving, because I have to be with the family. I can deal with that because I get to go wherever, and I pray to Krishna, give me more opportunities. Hint, hint, hint. I am available to come to your home and do, wasn't this a good program? Right? And my rates are competitive. I am the best bang for your buck in ISKCON. And I'm low maintenance. So I'm just waiting for your invitation. Could be a small gathering, big gathering, don't matter to me. Just so long as there is prasad. All right, let's finish up. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody! Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, all glories to the beautiful devotees of ISKCON San Diego Ki.
Hare Krishna.